Welcome back, folks. Cape Rugby TV. We carry on talking about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. One of the structures that has been the most active during the last 7 months has, of course, been the Western Province Rugby Referee Society. They've been not only busy with all of their courses for coaches and so on, but they've also been very busy with outreach projects, and they've tied in with, like many of you have, they've tied up with foundations that have helped and supported the structure. Not to mention the fact that they're recruiting constantly and trying to get more referees. But joining me on the line now, the chairman of the Western Province Rugby Referee Society, Joey Klaaste-Salmans. Joey, nice to have you back.
Thank you, JP. It's always great to have a chat with you.
Joey, you did it again this weekend. You guys again went out, another fantastic initiative, this time again with the Chester Williams Foundation. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we actually had two functions this weekend. On Saturday, we were busy with the Kolisi Foundation. And again, the Kolisi Foundation has supported us very well this year with supporting our own referees who've really been struggling. And I've just, my shout out to both Rachel and Sia for just supporting the referees and making sure that our members have got food on the table. So that's a great initiative from their side. And then on Sunday, we had a bit of a picnic opposite DF Malan in the Dani Iceberg. And that's when we handed over a cycling kit to our newly established referees charity ride and run project.
Let me just hold on there. The Referees Ride and Charity Run Project. Did I get it? The Referees Ride and Run Charity Project. All right, okay. So am I right now? The referees who play rugby are now also running and cycling.
So yeah, basically what happens is these oaks on a Saturday and a Sunday are out there cycling, and then they've got some runners. I think there's about 3 or 4 runners. And then, so they're clocking kilometers, JP. The guys gave me some stats on Sunday. I was totally shocked. I didn't know that they were doing so much. One of the riders have done, since we started this project, has done close to 3,000 kilometers on his bicycle. And that's just over weekends because they meet on a Saturday morning and then they go and cycle as a team. And on set Saturdays, when we engage with some of the foundations, they cycle to wherever we are doing an outreach. So on Saturday they cycled from Belleville to City Park and cycled back. And soon we will be supporting Maria Williams and the Chester Williams Foundation when they hand out their Christmas gifts and stuff at one of the venues, and then the guys will be cycling there as well. So we kind of, between the two foundations, we are also trying to support them with their initiatives because of their support of us.
So Joey, with the cycling, it's not just for fitness, it's part of the project, it's part of the awareness campaign as well.
Yeah, it is actually, it's twofold. So one is just to showcase that refereeing is actually not just about the blowing of a whistle on the field, where we seem to be getting a lot of negative attention. But this was actually to try and show the positive side of the refereeing organization. And I must say, from the comments that I've been getting on Facebook and Twitter and people who've been phoning, it has really been very well received across the country. Even other provinces have asked me, how do they start? How can they contribute? So this has really, really been good for us. And I'm saying us as a collective, that means the whole of Western Province.
That's fantastic, Joe. I mean, you and I have had these offline conversations about the fact that the referees, like you say, it's more than just blowing a match on a Saturday. You're actually a society of people, from previous referees, current referees, new referees. You've got a whole structure there that one can belong to and be part of. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, when I started in 2015, I told the executive that I really want us to start investing in the referees who left us. In other words, the older folk, the guys who have been and are now somewhere. I am very much keen on history and finding people, because there's such a lot of referees out there who has actually played a role in the success of our society, and they just gone, and I want them to be part of us. Even when we launched our new website, one of the criteria and one of the things that I was adamant on was I wanted a historical review of the society, and I didn't want that to just start 90 whenever they came together. I wanted it to go pre that, because there were people before that that really fought hard to get us to become one society. And I do not want to forget those stalwarts, because if it wasn't for their hard work, we wouldn't be the success that we are as a society.
But now that of course leads also to the other side, which is people who are joining, people who are new, who can then lean on people like yourself and other experienced referees for guidance and mentorship.
Yeah, and for me that's important. You know, the game is evolved so much that even when we do a level 1 course this week, JP, because of the lack of numbers, we're probably going to throw that guy in the deep end next weekend. So he's got between the training on a Saturday to refereeing a game in 7 days' time, and the spectators don't always appreciate that, because they're expecting a referee. That's it. That's all they expect. They expect one with a very high level of competency. And sometimes they're getting a beginner, a new guy, a guy who's just feeling his way around.
That's okay. I mean, everybody has to start somewhere. You've got to get your feet wet and get the ball rolling, so to speak.
Exactly.
I mean, and this, what you're doing, it just comes across like this is fantastic, because people who are getting their feet wet are able to engage and get advice from yourself.
Yeah, correct. So and I mean, I'm heading up a group on a Wednesday night called the High Performance Group, and this is open to any referee, even if it's a beginner or if he's a top referee. If you feel that you can contribute to a high performance coaching environment, then you can come in. So even on those sessions, I don't coach I don't coach those referees like I would coach a beginner ref. I coach them at the level of national and international, because I'm still involved in that sphere as well with the TMOing. So I get to understand what the shape of the game and what is needed. So I take that and I bring it to our Western Province referees, and I'm telling you, I'm loving it. And COVID has only proven to us that the one thing that we took for granted was the use of ICT to be able to help and develop our referees. And I'm not going to stop. I think next year is going to be a blended approach, a little bit of face-to-face, but a lot more of online stuff, because even with the online, at the beginning of COVID, I opened on one Saturday, I had a session, and I had a lot of clubs that came into that session, who sat in when we were talking about the laws and that. And that for me is something I want to do a lot more of.
You're just on a final note, Joey, of course, we hear your voice a lot. I'm moving a little bit away from the referee society now, but we hear your voice a lot as a TMO. So when we're watching the match, we can hear your voice in the background. Is there a big difference? I mean, there's only a handful of positions in the world available for TMOs. Is there a big difference between the actual refereeing on the field and then constructing this into a visual, digital, verbal message that has to go out on the field?
I'll tell you what, JP, when I started, it was stressful. I think people are saying to me, yes, you've lost a lot of weight. I'm like, yeah, you should start TMOing as well. It is, because remember, every second that I have to make a decision is like 2 minutes for you watching as the spectator. Yeah. So we tried to do it as quick as possible, with the knowledge that you have as a referee. So you've got your knowledge of your refereeing knowledge. You know what the referee wants from you, because he's very clear in his instructions. And then it is just to go and look for it as on the visuals. And if you're not finding the evidence, and then it's about conveying the message back to them. Now, this year it's been a very interesting thing, because there's been no big screens at the stadium.
Of course, the referee on the field can't look at the screen. Yes.
Yeah. So this year has been, even from and this is where I'm grateful that I studied and to become a teacher and a language teacher, because at this moment I have to make sure that the picture that I'm painting to him in words is exactly what I'm seeing on the screen. And that's why we try to keep it as simple as possible. There's a process that we follow. For instance, if it's foul play, we go, is it foul play, yes or no? Yes. And then we describe what the foul play looks like. Then we go look at the impact Is the high level, low level impact? And then we kind of get to the decision of, okay, so with all of these things that we've just answered, is this a red card, a yellow card, or just a penalty only?
Sounds very complicated.
It is complicated, and we meet on a weekly basis, the TMOs. We meet on a Tuesday evening with Mark Lawrence and Lyndon Bray, and we go through scenarios and talk about these things, because I think TMOing in South Africa is here to stay. We're not sure what it looks like in the world, but we definitely, it's something we're embracing in South Africa. So it's going to be here for a while.
Joey, we look forward to catching up with you again on a regular basis. We know that you're busy with the Chester Williams Foundation, you're busy with the Siya Kolisi Foundation, all to help the Western Province Rugby Referee Society and draw awareness and, of course, support the referees. And we look forward to following the progress and supporting you guys.
Yeah, I just want to obviously say to you, JP, you have been a keen supporter since I was a referee. Thank you very much for your support as well of the Refereeing Society and helping us recruiting new members. And I'm hoping that the clubs are going to send us a whole lot of new guys that we can start 2020-21 with.
Absolutely. I'm absolutely sure they will. Thanks, Joey. We'll chat soon. There we go, folks. Joey Klaaste-Salmans. As you can hear what he's saying there, he's talking about referees as a unit, as a team, as a family, getting involved. And so if you are watching right now, join the Western Province Rugby Referee Society. Jump in. Get part of the structure. It is a fantastic organization with a lot more involved than simply blowing a whistle on a Saturday. Folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we're talking about club rugby in Western Province. Back in a sec.